Is Felger and Maz your favorite afternoon show?
Yes, 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 yes.
Felger and Maz.
I just think it's an overpay. I think it's too much. And I've said that for months since we started talking about this, probably years. No, you know what? It's not been years, because I can tell you when my opinion in terms of what the going rate for A.J. Brown should be changed. And it was when we heard from our friend Albert Breer, again, was months ago, that he had a degenerative knee condition. I was a huge fan of A.J. Brown. Again, for all the reasons I just mentioned, the fit, the position, the style, the play of the quarterback. You're talking about a 29-year-old receiver who has a bad knee.
Okay.
And that, to me, when you're talking about giving up first-round picks, I'm not saying it's unreasonable, especially given what we've seen other receivers go for. It's too much for me, given where the Patriots, I think, are in their overall championship aspirational arc.
It's another voice there who I think has it right. It was an overpay by the New England Patriots on A.J. Brown, but this is a bit of commentary that that Matt McCarthy rejects. Why do you reject it, Matt?
Well, I would say I did hear the show on Monday. I can't say I was a fan of anything that was said. Let me get this straight. So we've been crushing the Patriots for years for not going out and getting number one receivers to help their young quarterbacks, going all the way back to Mac Jones. Hell, we crushed the Patriots for not doing enough to help Tom Brady. Now they've spent a first-round pick, which is what it takes to get players like A.J. Brown. They've taken on the money, which has also been a criticism of the Patriots. So they've now done the thing that we've been asking them to do for years, and we're crushing them for it. I just don't think this is as much of an overpay as everybody's making it out to be. This is the cost of getting a number one wide receiver in the NFL. It will be uncomfortable, but they're a better team for having done it. They're helping out Drake May. I don't care about a first-round pick in 2028 because you know what? I got to help Drake May out now. Now. I got to protect him. I got to get him weapons. If it takes a first-rounder in 2028 to help the kid out, I am doing it every day of the week and twice on Sunday, which is what I thought we wanted here for years. And yet it happens. Now we're criticizing them for doing it. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you want to take this one, Mass?
Sure, yeah. When you say it's not as much of an overpay as everyone is saying, are you acknowledging that it's an overpay?
Anytime you trade for a wide receiver in the NFL, it's going to be an overpay. Yes, this is the cost of doing business.
Okay, then we agree.
Oh, but I don't think that's true.
What?
That every time it's an overpay?
No. But I think that I don't know that every time it's an overpay either. No, I don't agree with that part of it. But who said that we're killing them for making the trade?
I think that's been the tone of the program and the tone of the conversation this week.
I'm happy they made the trade. But if we're being honest, they overpaid.
Yeah. And so, I'm provoking Patriots fans, certainly because, it's just like I've just been dealing with you people for so long. I just find it so rich that the same group that celebrated the Patriots for years, winning negotiations, never paying too much, losing players but being smart, other teams would get the player, but were stupid because they spent too much or put too much in draft capital. This was the thing that I had to deal with for 20 years. Now, all of a sudden, the Patriots are one of those teams. They overpay for the talent, and they're okay with it. And we're not allowed to talk about the fact that you overpaid because we just want the player. Well, that's certainly a switch from you people. That's not what I got for 20 years.
Is this what you wanted, though? Take the people out of it. Is this what you wanted?
I have a hard time separating myself from my back and forth with the Patriots fans of Boston, with which I've been going back and forth with for 25 years. So you're right. Take it. Yeah, yes, I want the player. Yes, I want the player. But, if we're going to discuss the thing, discuss all facets of it. You overpaid for him. And I think, instead of defending that or getting defensive about that, you should probably celebrate it. Say, yeah, we overpaid. For once we did, and we got the player. And we're not sitting here talking about how everyone else is stupid, and we were smart not to overpay, and this is why we are who we are, because we're disciplined and smart. Meanwhile, the player's playing for someone else. No, this time you weren't so disciplined. You got beat up by another GM, but you got the player. So, yeah, this is what you should have been rooting for all along, frankly. It's the incongruity of it. It's the inconsistency of it, Matt, that I can't let pass.
Well, I don't know how inconsistent it is. It's one thing if you have Tom Brady, who can, make chicken salad out of chicken crap. It's another thing if you have a young quarterback. So shouldn't you adjust how you do business? Wasn't that one of the criticisms of Bill Belichick in the later years, as he was still doing things the same way?
I think Drake May is now in the category of Tom Brady.
See, I don't.
Which
you think he's in the category of Tom Brady?
Let me just finish the statement. The category of he can elevate the players around him. He's not Tom Brady. But he's one of those guys that, I'm not saying any of these guys are as good as Tom Brady, but if you have Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes or one of these or Josh Allen or one of these really good quarterbacks, you don't have to overextend yourself at the receiver position because that quarterback elevates the play of what's around him. I think Drake May is that guy. He is Tom Brady in that regard. So yeah. I do, yes.
I don't think so. I'm not there yet. I hope you're right. I mean, if you are right, that's great.
You don't think Drake May's that guy?
No, because he sucked in the playoffs. He sucked in the playoffs.
You don't think he was hurt?
4 straight games.
You don't think he was hurt?
He told us he got hurt at the end of the Denver game. So what am I supposed to do about the first 2.5 games of
fair.
the playoffs?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's when the big injury happened in Denver. So am I supposed to ignore the fact that he was terrible against the Chargers, that he was terrible against the Texans? Had a couple real nice throws in that game because I mean the talent jumps off the charts. I just think it's too premature just because he had a great year, a great regular season, I should say. It's too then premature to say, well, he can elevate everybody and we should approach things the way we did in the Tom Brady era. No, you got to go out and you got to get that guy help. And you know what? If it takes an extra 5th round pick to do it, you do it.
I've never mentioned the 5th round pick.
So you think it's the first round?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have offered a conditional too.
Yeah.
And I don't think Philly was getting that anywhere else. That's what they should have offered.
Oh, listen, and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying call it for what it is. You overpaid. You overpaid to get the guy. Now, Matt, I also wish that the reason they did it was for all the reasons you said. Young quarterback, got to surround him, all of that. I hope that's it, and not just Mike Vrabel fulfilling some sort of personal thing that he had with the player and a piece of history that he might consider unfinished. He never wanted to let go of A.J. Brown with the Titans. The Titans did him dirty by letting him go. He didn't like that situation. He didn't like how it reflected between him and the player, and so he wants to make good on that. And it's about him and his personal journey with A.J. Brown. And that's the reason he's here, not to support Drake May. I don't even know what the pure motivation is. But I'll still take the player. Don't get me wrong. I just like talking about everything about it, Matt. I don't want to sit here and whip it out. We have A.J. Brown. I think people can get that anywhere.
So I think that you're spot on about.
Thank you.
The Vrabel factor in this, could you have gotten Jalen Waddle instead? But it feels like they focused on A.J. Brown because A.J. Brown is Vrabel's guy. That's it. You could have gone out, and Pierce didn't ultimately leave Indianapolis, if I'm remembering correctly. But there have been so many options, and there always are options around the NFL to add at the wide receiver position. This is the one they fully committed to. That's a fair second guess. Did they pick the right guy because of the knee injury, because of the antics in Philadelphia? Are they making too much of a bet on A.J. Brown because he's just Mike Vrabel's guy? That I absolutely will entertain. But I don't know. I just have a hard time looking at this and saying, wait a minute. They finally got a number 1 wide receiver. They finally paid the price needed to.
Matt, we're just doing what we do with every trade. Did you offer and get the player for proper value? That's just part of the discussion with every trade.
I mean,
you just traded for Caleb Durbin. You gave up a guy that right now is throwing absolute lasers that no one can touch in
Kyle
Harrison with the Brewers.
He's going to win the Cy Young in the National League.
Can we discuss the back and forth, what you gave and what you got?
No.
This is you say that every receiver is going to be overpaid. I don't know. DK Metcalf went to the Steelers last year for a 2nd-round pick. DK Metcalf, I don't think is in the class of the top-tier NFL receivers. He's in a rung or two below. And he went to Pittsburgh. He put up 850 yards, scored 7 touchdowns, rushing and passing combined. And for that, they gave up a mid-second-round pick.
And he's making about the same money that Brown is. Pretty close.
Kind of feels like that's decent value, but it's not even the value for the production. It's no one else was giving the Seahawks a first-round pick. So why should we give them a first-round pick?
And he was younger.
So I don't think every receiver's an overpay, Matt. I think this one was.
Okay, but that was last offseason. This is this offseason. You probably have to compare it more fairly to the Jalen Waddle trade. And you want to have that conversation? Maybe Jalen Waddle is worth more that ultimately the Broncos paid for him. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. But in the context of this offseason,
you're looking at it wrong. Someone was willing to give Waddle a first-round pick, so that was his market. no one else was willing to give A.J. Brown a first-round pick. So his market was in the second round. You were the one team that said, no, it's a first.
What do you make of the Rams reporting that they were interested in him? And it feels to me that the Patriots probably offered the 2028. This deal's been done for quite some time now.
True.
To give Roseman what he wanted. So it's the assurances of, listen, the Eagles wanted to make this happen after June 1st. The Patriots probably needed to offer just a little bit more.
But why didn't the Rams offer it?
Because according to the reports, they were trying to move on from Devontae Adams.
So that there was perhaps the Rams had the deal with the Eagles. It was for a first-round pick, but they couldn't move Adams, and so it fell apart.
Yeah.
So if you're the Patriots, and listen, this was probably done, as we know, in April, leading up to the draft.
I just don't know why you would do it like that. You know, things change, and the things changed in the Patriots' favor. The Rams fell out of the bidding because they had bigger fish to fry with Myles Garrett. No other team was offering a first-round pick. And you could have got him for less.
Philly had to unload this guy.
And Philly could not bring him back.
They had to unload this guy. And Matt, just for the consistency's sake, I've been saying since day one I wouldn't give up a first-rounder for this guy. If you're asking me what the price is, if we're having that discussion, no, first-rounder's too high. So this has got nothing to do with the fact that they actually made the deal for it. I think they could have offered a conditional to and made this trade. That's just my 2 cents.
Because he's not going back to Philly. So Roseman was in a tough spot.
Yep. He did great in this deal.
I mean, to get a first-round pick for a guy that he was going to have to get rid of one way or the other. You know, a lot of times in this situation, the teams will say, we're not giving you anything. You have to release them. You hear all the stuff that's floating around now with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
And, who was the pass rusher? Hassan Reddick?
Douglas.
No.
Oh, Hassan Reddick, yeah.
Was that who it was?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to even say.
With the therapist?
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on there. Like, it turns out it wasn't targets. It wasn't the offense. It wasn't the offensive coordinator. It was the usual thing. Women and money and that crap. And the wives at each other's throat. Like, it was that crap. And so they couldn't bring him back. The thing's toxic.
No way they could bring him back.
A lot of times in the league, and the way it works in the NFL is when a player's in that situation, the league will look at the team and go, we're not giving you anything because you're going to have to release him, Howie, because you know you can't bring him back. So we're not giving you, never mind a first, we're not giving you anything.
You run the risk, though, of them finding a suitor. And why I think they ultimately gave up a first-round pick in this deal is back in April when this was agreed to, my guess is it was a handshake. Listen, you're asking for a first-round pick. We'll give it to you
back in February.
Correct. We'll give it to you in 2028. But as a result, you're not going to take any more phone calls on this. This deal's done. We'll give you what you want. Right?
So they shot their load too soon.
Right.
So they ran the risk of maybe the Rams eventually finding a way to unload Adams, and then you get to June 1st, and all of a sudden the deal goes elsewhere.
I don't get the pushback. You could have. No one else was off. You were the only team offering him a first. Why don't you just stick with, I'm glad we got the player. Yeah, we overpaid, but we got the player. That's what I care about.
I am glad.
No, I want to win the deal.
But no, you have to have it all.
Yep, I got to have it all.
You have to have everything.
Don't call me stupid.
I mean, God, like, it's okay. Oh, I wish.
No, we got him for nothing.
I wish the team had done it more in the past.
We liked the player and we didn't pay for him.
Overpay, but get the guy.
Got to have it all.
But you can't just accept that other thing.
You don't know, Felga. You don't know.
But we'll do that. And more of this Fakakta thing with the therapist and all this. Has this been widely? Did Beetle and Zoe talk about this? I didn't get to hear their show today.
Not that I heard, no. But I like
I feel more comfortable talking about it. Everybody else has talked about it. Have other people
Craig
talked about it?
Carton is talking about it. That should be enough.
Is it? That Craig Carton's talking about it on the internet?
Alex Guerrero got between Tom Brady and the Patriots. Now it's another therapist in Philly. These therapists are taking down teams everywhere.
Exactly apples to apples what was going on, but I get it. So there's your A.J. Brown refresh. Back to your calls right after these
You
words.
don't know, Felga.
I want to get to the gossip first.
Everything you said is right.
Felger and Maz, the Sports Zone.
I think the relationship with players, and specifically you asked about AJ, has meant a lot. I've watched him grow. I've watched him mature. I'm proud of him. Proud of the father that he is. I'm proud of the husband, and that has nothing to do with where he plays and where he played. So those are the things that are important. You know, we reach out and text each other during the things that happen good to each other, and sometimes things don't go so well for for the people that you're close with, and you text those as well. So it's a two-way street of support and reminders of what got us to where we are here today.
It's not even funny. What a bullcrap artist this guy is. That was from February 26th, right? Combine. So, like Matt, you said this thing was done since April. I think it was done since the Combine. But he's asked about A.J. Brown, and what does he immediately go to? What does he immediately go to, Jimmy?
Proud of the father that he is. I'm proud of the husband, and that has nothing to do with...
So full of crap. Meanwhile, A.J. Brown's running around doing what? And you're, Mike, running around doing what? Family, father, if about your family and being a father and a husband. He is so, this Vrabel is so full of it.
He can sell it.
And most of you just lap it right up.
Oh, I'm telling you, the national media is in the palm of his hands. And I'm not excluding the local media. I think in the media, period, whatever he's doing, him and Stretch, in terms of manipulating the media, is working to a T.
So I'm telling you, the father, he's just on and on and on. I wonder if Vrabel's still doing that. Still, if he's still going to be selling that, that pile of crap like he has in the past. But how does that sound? I mean, that was just in February. Was that 3 weeks later? He's playing footsie
in the hot tub
at the Ambiente. And again, just read up on the A.J. Brown, Hassan. Is it Hassan Reddick? I want to get the name right.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think you got it right.
Did I? Hold on. This freaking thing with A.J. Brown and
the pass rusher.
Yeah, okay. And the therapist and the wives and Jalen Hurts. But, a husband and father, Mike. And how important it is to be a good husband and father. God, he's so full of crap, this guy. Back to your phones. Larry in Andover. Yes, Larry.
So I agree with you. We got the guy. Let's not mess around with the what we had to pay for the guy. The three of you, pull your heads.
Why not mess around with what we have to pay for the guy? We do that on every single trade all the time. Now that you may have lost a trade or overpaid, now we're not supposed to talk about it. This is what I'm talking about, Matt. That's why I do it.
How badly did they lose this trade? They got the player they needed, and they got better. So, like, in the value term, sure.
I just don't know what Larry says. We're not supposed to talk about what they gave up now. Now we're not supposed to talk about what we gave up.
No, they got the player.
When you gave up too much. Oh, I get it now, Larry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's not what I meant. I think you're right. We got the guy, and let's be glad we got him. And the three of you, can you put your heads together and tell me the last quality wide receiver that we drafted? I'm thinking of Stanley Morgan or Irving Frye. Can you think of somebody sooner?
I think, Deion Branch in 2002.
Julian Edelman.
Well, Edelman doesn't
rounder.
count.
Yeah.
I don't even count Edelman. He was a quarterback.
That was a flyer.
No, who's the last guy at that position they meant to draft and thought would be good? Because they didn't think that on Edelman. If they thought that on Edelman, they wouldn't have waited till
Deion Branch.
I mean, honestly, it might be.
Mitchell was pretty good for 1 year. Malcolm Mitchell.
Yeah,
and then he
so
got hurt.
I was just going to say, I give them a little bit on Mitchell because he helped them in the Super Bowl, but honestly, he was hurt.
Did you give him Kayshon Boutte?
Yeah, I think so.
No,
yeah,
6th rounder. No.
He was a 6th rounder?
Yeah, no, that was a freaking flyer. Please.
No Kayshon Boutte?
Nope.
How about Noah in Kansas City on our Roman Anthony conversation? Yes, Noah.
Yeah, just kind of curious. I'm already kind of tired of his attitude and his approach to everything. So just kind of curious where, we're talking about potentially maybe blowing this whole thing up. And Maz, that's what I wanted to kind of ask you about is earlier you guys were talking about this, we need a face of the baseball operations and, someone else other than Sam Kennedy to kind of be that spokesperson. And I found David Ortiz's comments pretty interesting, basically being a mouthpiece for Henry. I don't know. How do you feel about, him being kind of included? Because as a fan, I would feel more comfortable hearing something from somebody like Ortiz.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be him, but, someone
Noah,
like
thanks, because he wants David Ortiz to be the new chief baseball officer?
No.
Sorry, no way. But I thought he was going, he's already tired of Roman Anthony. I'm not there.
No, I'm not either.
I'm not giving up on Roman Anthony.
I like the kid, and I think he's got ability. I of all the guys they got, to me, he's the best combination of character and ability.
Way too early to give up on him. I don't know about his character. I don't know why you're putting that in like the checkmark column. I think it's just the opposite with Roman. Not that he's some sort of horrible person, but is he
competitive character?
Is he tough enough, competitive enough? Does he grind the way he needs? Like all those things. I don't know about that with Anthony at all. But the point is, I'm not giving up on him. However, if you could get Yordan Alvarez for a package, is there anyone that you would say is off limits?
No, I wouldn't. And I would.
So you would trade Roman Anthony as a centerpiece in a deal to get Yordan Alvarez?
If I'm not giving up much else, yes. And I'd also say the same thing about Bobby Witt. Am I, running out the door to trade Roman Anthony?
Is Bobby Witt even a consideration?
No.
I mean, I know a few years ago he was interested in coming here, but would that happen again? Would Yordan Alvarez happen? Probably not. Here's what I would say. I don't think there's a single untouchable in the organization outside of Garrett Crochet and probably Roman Anthony. But if I'm getting a legitimate bona fide young superstar in return for Roman Anthony, yeah. Do I consider it? Do I make it happen? Yes. The best thing you can do for Roman Anthony is get his buddy Marcelo Meyer out of here. You want to talk about competitive character? Get that influence away from him. You want to get more out of Anthony? Meyer's got to go.
Why?
Because of everything we may or may not believe about Marcelo Meyer and his off-field activities, and is he more interested in other things than baseball? Oh, and by the way, he's also not very good and can't hit a curveball. So talk about handing the face of the franchise over to these two kids. Get Meyer out of here. It's just going to help Anthony if you do.
I don't think he's serious about the job. I just don't think he's serious about it. He wants to be a kid and goof around, and you might as well give him I'm not telling you he's a surfer, but he's that kind of kid. Like, let me just go hang out at the beach and have a good time, and I play baseball for a living. Yeah, I'll make my millions. I'm cool, and that's it. So to me, but again, they've misevaluated so many guys over there. See, I think Anthony likes baseball. So when I say competitive character, that's what I mean. I think he likes the sport. Does he have to learn how to deal with injuries? Yes.
You don't think so? You're questioning whether Marcelo Meyer even likes the sport?
Correct.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Listen,
I am.
Mike, and you've talked about this.
I think it's like a freaking thing he does.
Meyer's your guy. You love him.
And I just think his skill set. Yeah.
It jumps off the screen. I mean, his swing is beautiful. He's so fluid in the field, yet the stats have never, and I've been saying this for 2 years, guys. I've been harder on Marcelo Meyer than anybody in this town. The stats have never backed it up. The guy's batting 200 at Fenway. He's batting about 400 in the Seaport. He's Teddy Ballgame in the Seaport. But 200 at Fenway. Give me the guy who hits 300 at Fenway and 300 in the Seaport.
Yeah, something's wrong there. He hasn't developed like he should have. And I mean that even in the minor leagues. His numbers weren't great down there. He's never been a stud.
Let me do this real quick. Joe just jumped on. Problem with Felger's comments. Go ahead, Joe.
Felger, I gotta tell you, man, I think you're on crack. You hear the saying, crack is whack? You're a wacko. You're over here. Can you please tell us, are we not better with A.J. Brown on the team? Yes. You're over here making a big deal about the unknown that we gave this up and the money, this and that. Who cares about the money? Who cares about 2028 first-round pick? Who cares about all that? We got a premier wide receiver that we haven't had since Randy Moss. And you're on this radio station down in the goddamn... You're a whack job. You're a whack. And I hear you last week about Wembayama. You're talking about the guy that he's just a regular 7-footer. The guy is unbelievable. We've never seen someone like that before.
Okay, Joe, I'm going to stop you there.
We got to play that again. I didn't pick up a lot.
He went back to Wembanyama and my commentary on Wembanyama, which we will circle back to. We'll have thoughts on the NBA Finals. Coming right up, Joe, you'll have another chance to sample some of our commentary. First, an update here from Matt McCarthy.
Now, more of Felger and Maz. Now, on the Sports Hub.
He gave up on his teammates, and I will forever hold that against them. And I think that we all should. As we were told, he was well-liked. Now, I don't think that... I don't know how you can make a read on that any longer. Well-liked by his teammates. Okay, maybe that was once upon a time. I cannot imagine after what he put the team through, he is as well-liked now as he was when he first arrived here. He gave up on us. He gave up on his teammates, and I will forever hold that against them. And I think that we all should. I mean, quite frankly, that's completely unacceptable. And that was okay to him. And we rewarded him for that, essentially, because that's today's NFL as it's taking after all the other pro sports out there. I hate that part of it all. But I think the team can be better without A.J., even though that sounds crazy to say. A.J. Brown was a great wide receiver. I think we have a lot of really good wide receivers, and Devontae, who's great. And I can't wait to see what this group does, because I think the group can be better than that individual.
It's John Ritchie, WIP, just giving you some of the Eagles' fallout on it. I don't know if the Eagles are going to be better. I mean, they've had quite a run. They've been, arguably the best team in the league for 4 years, among them, So I wouldn't be surprised if they tail off at some point. So I don't know if they're going to be better or worse without A.J. Brown. That's not part of the calculation, but part of the good riddance nature of it. If I were an Eagles fan, I'd kind of feel that way.
Sure.
He did. He quit on a championship team. So you should never celebrate a guy like that. You're picking up a guy that just quit on a championship team. It's one thing to quit on a loser. See that all the time. Mentioned this before. You can almost kind of accept it, but I wouldn't accept it, but it happens. Then they get to a winning environment, and they're fine. A.J. Brown was in a winning environment, and it still wasn't good enough for him. Now, listen, maybe there was this whole off-field mess. This whole thing was what the real germination was. He didn't have a problem with Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. He didn't have a problem with the offense. He didn't have a problem with the targets. He didn't have a problem with the offensive coordinators. He had a problem with the fact that he was doing the same personal trainer as Hassan Reddick, and Jalen Hurts wouldn't step in that. Blah, 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 whatever was going on there. Allegedly, who knows? So, you'll worry about him bringing that whole bucket of crap here?
Sure. Yeah. Again, in the short term, no. And I've been saying in a lot of ways I feel the same way that I felt about Stephon Diggs. In the short term, A.J. Brown will be on his best behavior. So Mike Vrabel's here. He's happy. He's happy to get out of Philadelphia. And he's got a quarterback that can throw to him. So in the early going, I think you're going to see a guy who's well-behaved and bought in. But as time goes on, inevitably there will be things that go wrong, whatever they are. Yeah, I think he absolutely could revert. No question about it. They usually do.
But it's, you hear the comment from, how do you pronounce the tackle there? Jordan Mailata?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quote, I think this is more of a, I know this sounds terrible, but thank God it's over, is what he said. Jordan Mailata said, thank God it's over about the A.J. Brown trade. I think it's more of a, I know it sounds terrible, but thank God it's over. It was a slow pain of just, is he in, is he out? We didn't really know, and that really wasn't our focus as a team, our team, especially on offense. So I think there should be a good deal of relief in Philadelphia with that drama now, I think, out the door. But, who knows?
I mean, think of that. I know you touched on this yesterday. They won there. They won. They went to 2 Super Bowls. They were a good team. It's not like, when Corey Dillon got traded here from the Bengals, I'm going way back. The Bengals sucked.
And they were, they lost early in the playoffs to San Francisco last year. But if Brown didn't quit in that game, they would have won.
Might be a factor for sure.
He had a couple of huge drops in that game in crunch time that could have extended drives, et cetera. And they lost by a possession, and he was invisible in that game. So, yeah, he did nothing but he got paid. He went to Pro Bowls and was named All-Pro. He had 4 1,000-yard seasons. They made the playoffs 4 times. They went to 2 Super Bowls. He won a championship. And he shot his way out of town. That should scare you. Because if he's willing to shoot his way out of town for that, you're not going to be much better than that. In the next 4 years, are you going to make 4 playoffs, 2 Super Bowls, win a championship?
Probably not.
I'd be hard-pressed to say anyone's going to do that. And he was miserable. Now, listen, if there was the off-field stuff that made him miserable, I guess that's a little more understandable, but he brings a whole bucket of crap.
Usually when you acquire these kinds of guys, it's a talented guy in a bad team who's not performing to his ability because he hates the environment. So now I suppose it can happen on a good team. We're going to find out, but it's unusual. Usually a guy in a good environment that's winning will put up with the other stuff. This guy didn't.
Back to your phones, as promised. Here's Nick in Malden. Go ahead, Nick.
So you guys remember when you guys were talking about Stephon Diggs last year? I'm glad Maz brought it up. I know we have our problems with, the behavior and whatnot, and the injury was a big thing. But, look what happened with him all season. He stayed healthy for the most part, if I'm not mistaken. And A.J. Brown has a bad knee. I don't think he's going to be that bad, and I think he's going to be surrounded by a group of guys in New England that's going to make him, rise above, all this crap that he was, depressed here on the Phillies or Phillies, the Eagles. And I just think he just needed a culture change, like just another place to play.
Okay.
Like I think he was just sick of the same old thing.
What did we say about Steph Diggs last year? I love Steph Diggs as a player.
Originally, we were worried about his injury before the season started.
I wasn't worried about.
Back to your tape.
I wasn't worried about the injury. If you go back to our tape, you would find that I was worried about the fact that he wasn't showing up in the offseason and was instead peddling drugs on boats in Miami as opposed to working out with the team. That I was concerned about that, as was the team. The team was frustrated, not necessarily with the alleged pink bag of drugs, but with the fact that he wasn't participating in the offseason program. And parenthetically, he happened to be rolling around on boats with alleged pink bags of drugs and all of that. So there was a little portion there in last offseason where if you're just being somewhat realistic and honest, you would have to say you got a little uncertain about the solidity of Steph Diggs.
Yeah, the only other thing I did feel about Diggs, get 1 year out of him and move on. And I feel similarly about this now that I think about it. I mean, the second year is not a lot of money. We'll see what they do with the contract or what have you. But with this guy, over time, it'll get worse, not better.
But they have a history of bringing in questionable wide receivers, just for lack of a better term. Some have worked, some haven't. Antonio Brown was an unmitigated disaster. He brought that big bucket of crap with him and just opened it up for everyone to see here. Chad Ochocinco wasn't like a problem off the field, but was a complete useless. Okay, so sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. I wouldn't act like every time they do this it works. It hasn't.
Ochocinco was definitely a disaster.
Useless.
Problem on the field.
Right.
Yes, AJ Jay in Manchester. Yes, Jay.
Yeah, you know what? I'm getting tired of listening to you. I know you guys are meant to rile everyone up, but you know what? I was number one in the country for 4 years, and I had my knee reconned 6 times, 8 full surgeries since '84. Yes, ski racing is a little more ahead of things than football. That's why you guys come and basically steal all your doctors from ski racers. But in the meantime, I was number one in the country for those years. And then you guys are talking about a knee that keeps filling with fluid. That's a chondromalacial problem that can be handled. The last time he had to deal with it was the Super Bowl year.
I want to hear more. I want to hear more from Dr. J.
No, Jay. Actually, what's the difference between a sprain and a partial tear?
Don't do this.
Actually, you know what? That's the whole thing. When you start some of your.
He's joking. I don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it.
Yeah, well, I was a skier. I was number one.
This is why we do what we do, Matt, and we are what we are. Because you just can't accept that he had a prior knee condition. You can't accept that you were the only team willing to give up a first-round pick. We just talk about truths. You can't accept the fact that you had a historically easy schedule. You can't accept the fact that opposing quarterbacks went down and the best players on the opposing teams went down like one after the other. You had a good road. Like, just the acceptance that the sun is yellow and the sky is blue, and so that's why we are what we are.
It's a fascinating human condition.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's
like when you buy a used car. Yeah, but wasn't that car in an accident? Yeah, but it's good now.
It's like
true color of the sun is actually white light.
My point is, we don't start it. You do, and so we're just here to.
There's nothing wrong with him.
The whole thing's been tell it like it is. Long commercial-free segment comes your way.
It ain't broken.
Comes your way next. We're back to the phones for the 5 o'clock hour, Maz, unless you have a fresh thought for us.
God, no.
Felger and Maz, 98.5 Sports Hub.
Why don't you love the player?
Well, number one, he's declining. And, I have some stats to back it up. I was able to get NGS, miles per hour stats.
Huh?
So it's, all these guys wear these.
What's NGS?
I don't know what it stands
tracking.
for. Yeah, but it's tracking. The NFL has tracking data.
Got it.
And his games with max speed of 19 plus miles an hour and 18 plus miles an hour fell off a map last year. He went from 55% of his games to 30% of his games. I asked another AFC general manager who I thought A.J. Brown would be a really good fit for them. He said, nope, bad knee. So there's that. I think that he is he's basically just a big wide receiver. He's a hitch, back shoulder type guy. I do think there's value in that for Drake May. I think he has trouble getting open deep now. He needs help with double moves, which this offense does have in the form of, play action and stuff like that. A lot of his big plays you'll see on these replays that they're showing, it's stutter and goes. It's out and up. It's slant and go. So he needs a little bit of help to get open deep.
But he's losing his top end speed.
Yeah, I just about everybody in the NFL believes that. The Patriots do not. They told me to my face. They do not think he's declining, and they're betting on that.
Do you worry that he's declining, Mass?
Yes, a little bit. Yep, I don't think he's the same player he was, call it 2 or 3 years ago. So his last 2 years in Philly haven't been quite as productive as the first couple. And early on, I thought this guy was a monster. In the early part of his career, I said, what a stud this guy is. He's fast, he's strong, contested catches, felt like he was tough, like absolute freaking force. It was, I liked everything about him. But I do think he's getting worse. I think he's deteriorating, and I am a little worried about that. Maybe a lot worried about that. If you're asking me, do I think there's bust potential in this deal? Yeah. Would I put it at 80%? No. I think he'll be pretty good. I think he's a B plus receiver now. I don't think he's an A anymore.
Back to your phones. As promised, here's Jeff at work on Vrabel. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Mike, I agree with you. I think he's a big BS artist. But my question is, the applause at this the softball game, the charity softball game, do you think that was legitimate, or did they applaud just because it was for a charity?
No.
Do people care?
No, the fans are going to honk out for the coach that just went to the Super Bowl and forgive everything and defend the wall and circle the Y, blah, 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 blah. No, that thing. He's going to get it. He's going to get standing ovations and uniform support from the vast majority of Patriots fans.
Definitely.
For until he starts losing. It doesn't matter what he does. Doesn't matter what he does off the field. He will have your support until he starts losing. We've been through this before. John in the car on Roman Anthony. Yes, John.
Reason 2752 why I hate this team. I have Isaiah Falefa having to be the voice of reason. If he was a normal team, he'd be getting bats that break, bringing them back to the dugout. These guys are not ready. None of them are, except for maybe Connolly Early and maybe Tolley. And I'm sorry, the only time I've seen Roman Anthony play well was in the World Baseball Classic. And by the way, they lost that to Venezuela. He throws the ball like he's throwing a bocce ball. He's been hurt twice trying to swing a bat. They paid him. They're taking a chance on him. That's all well and good. It isn't important to him, in my opinion. Not important enough. It might be, but it's not important enough. 2 great Italians, Tony, for you. He should be a little more DiMaggio and a little less Caligula.
Do you worry that Roman Anthony's overrated?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, the defense has me concerned. It did from the beginning in spring training. I just felt that he didn't move great out there. He's better than I thought initially, but the throwing's been a problem. And to me, it's going to all come down to the home runs that he hits. I think the kid can hit, but if he's like a 19 home run guy who hits for a good average and walks a lot, not good enough. They need a guy who hits 30, 35 home runs.
Yeah, I'm about 2% worried on Anthony. I acknowledge it's always a possibility. I still really believe in him. I cannot say that about just about everybody else they've brought up as part of this core, though.
John in New York, go.
Hey, listen, guys, thanks for the call. Breslow's got to go. I mean, his reactionary moves have just been so damaging. Did you know that James Tibbs just hit home runs in 4 consecutive games and was Player of the Week in AAA? He's got 17 homers on the season, a 3.21 average. You also have Kyle Harrison, who's enough said what he did last night. I mean, each time it just seems like it just gets worse and worse. Devers has a problem. Okay, deal him for 2 prospects. Okay, we need a bat, all right, or some help at the deadline. Let's steal this guy to prove that we got something for Devers. Okay, in the offseason, we just mixed out on Bregman. I guess deal Kyle Harrison and let's get Caleb Durbin in here.
Kyle Harrison is 7-1 with a 1.57 ERA. He struck out 12 in 5 2/3 last night. I don't even know if he's projected as a huge strikeout guy. He's not one of these 100-mile-an-hour guys.
No, he's always been more crafty.
Yeah, mid to high 90s, though. I mean, he's hitting 96, 97.
Which in this day and age is...
Give the strikeouts to walks. Total.
His strikeout to walks is 73 strikeouts to 16 walks.
In like 51 innings or something, 57 innings, whatever it is.
From the left side.
He's Sandy Koufax.
He's averaging almost 12 strikeouts a game and walking fewer than like two batters,
in
two and a
over
half batters.
57 innings, making a full turn every 5 days.
Yeah, he's throwing bullets.
So, listen, I've said this before. It's not that you let him go, because you do have good young pitching. You got Early, you've got Tolley. This guy might not have as good as stuff as he doesn't have as good as stuff as Tolley.
No,
I'll tell you that. He's a little bit more like Early, throws harder from the left side. But either way, you have good young pitching. So you had a surplus. You're going to move on from some of it. No problem. Caleb Durbin?
Oh, why? He doesn't meet your expectation?
I mean, you got tushed so bad in that trade. It's not even funny. Meanwhile, I won't even get to David Hamilton running around like a maniac and just making plays all over. He sucks. He's not good. It's not like he got to Milwaukee and all of a sudden got good. But he's on base and scoring. And
he uses his skill set.
Part of one of the best teams in baseball again. So, and never mind that third piece. What is it, Drohan? What's the other pitcher that?
Shane Drohan, yeah.
Drohan went in the deal too?
Yep.
Yeah, they got Drohan too.
He's part of the mix.
Good.
I don't know how great he is, but he's contributing. He had a couple starts. He's been out of the bullpen. Not horrible. So like 3 functional pieces on a team that has the second or third best record in the majors, including a co-National League Cy Young favorite for a kid that's hitting 180. And is, frankly, if you've noticed in the last week, pulled it out and pleasured himself over the fact that he's, for 1 week, hasn't completely, totally sucked.
Oh, yeah. Breslow you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Caleb Durbin. Isn't like Durbin and the Durbin people been making like a victory lap?
Yeah, a little bit. No.
Breslow's done it too. He did it last night on Nesson. Yeah, he was talking about how he's been hitting the ball to all fields in the last week. Which, by the way, you told him not to do when he came here. So now it's like, hey, look, we got this guy who hits to all fields. I thought you were going to turn him into a power hitter, you moron.
No, he's right. He's right. And no, there is some gloating going on. A buddy of mine sent me a thing this morning. Well, it looks like they figured out Durbin. Well, I said, how the hell can you say that?
Well,
based on what, 1 week?
I think he went outside. Did he get a private coach? So he went outside the organization. He got his own private coach. I think the private coach has been doing interviews. Like they're taking like this victory lap.
I would be too.
Over guys hitting, I think, 187. I haven't looked at it recently. Has that finally got a couple of hits this week? Like for the first time all year.
No, it's they're ready to throw him a parade. Mike. I picked up on this.
Had a week where he wasn't a complete, utter AAA suckbag. 1 week. And the private coach is doing a round of interviews, and they're patting themselves and doing a victory lap.
They should hire him to be the hitting coach. He's better than anybody else they have.
I mean, this team.
They can't evaluate. Going in or going out. I mean, either way, going out or coming in.
Couple of NBA Finals thoughts to add to the mix. We'll do right after McCarthy gets you updated. 90 seconds, no commercials.